I like my truth uncensored. My whole network viral. 12 and a half get you a quarterback. I got them shits flying like spirals. I like my
tonight,
truth
so stay tuned to the
uncensored.
podcast. Subscribe to it.
My whole
You know,
network
hit the like button wherever you're listening to it. So that podcast is coming right after this one. But today we wanted to kind of get in here a little early just to talk about this before that interview. Yesterday, a video was released what was perceived to be Nipsey Hussle hugging Eric Holder. Now, I'll be playing that on the screen for everybody watching right there. Well, the video floated around. We talked about it yesterday. We didn't release the video, but apparently Nipsey Hussle's family, you know, responded to this video being posted and pretty much said it is not Eric Holder, it's Nipsey embracing someone called Flacco. Once again, it's not Eric Holder. And they're saying that the clip was taken about 6 months prior to Nipsey Hussle shooting. Now, it was an individual who went on Vlad TV, you know, and he pretty much said that he knew and that Nipsey was signed to, that Eric Holder was signed to his label back in the day, and that story has been debunked. They also said that that's not true. They had no prior business dealing. So Nipsey Hussle's family, you know, speaking out, you know, debunking that. I'm glad they did because, you know, it'd have been a bad thing for that to continue to float around like that. But it wouldn't be surprising, nevertheless. But Sam, man, what do you think about this? Nipsey Hussle's family pretty much saying no, it was not Eric Holder. It was somebody named Flacco.
This is the second time that this has happened, because we remember when he initially, when everything occurred and everyone was saying Eric Holder did the crime, he was in this picture with Nipsey, and there was a whole group of them together, and everyone was saying that was him, and they debunked that. And now we have this, and they debunked that. What I think what's going on right now is this is just the life we live on the internet.
But yeah, go ahead, Sam, man.
Business phone, man. Sorry about
sir.
that. But yeah, man, we're talking about a situation when we live in 2019. And people just have the ability to create anything. And yeah, some of these pictures we could see that look very, very similar to it. But that's a simple Photoshop. If you really think about it, I've seen people take Tekashi's tattoos off his face. I've seen all kind of shit on YouTube, which you can do with the ability you can have on a Photoshop. So we just got to be careful before we jump to rash decisions and before we start throwing out information and becoming all speculations and things like that. We talked about this yesterday, and we seen it, and it looked just like him. Definitely did. Yeah. But we said, and we were careful not to speculate on anything. We tried to tie it up to it as best as we could, given all the circumstances. He does music. Yeah, it could be this, it could be that, but we don't know end result. And thank God his family came out early and said, nah, let's hold that, because we know how the internet is. It gains steam, and it's every fucking where. Now everyone's talking about it.
Yeah, and it's like it's crazy because a lot is not known right now. Like everything we thought we knew, something comes out and say, oh, no, that didn't happen that way. It's this happened. Even like the whole informant thing about him being an informant. You know, we had Spider Logo and he talked about it a little bit, but it's just like nobody really knows. That was just a rumor that came out and people kind of just ran with it. And we don't know, man. Everybody still wants to know the connection to Eric Holder, to Nipsey. Like, how did they know each other? Like, what exactly happened? Because even that story, at first, that story came out to say, oh, they had an altercation. Nipsey called him a snitch. He came back with the gun. They said that wasn't true. They said that they shook hands. So it's just like, it's a whole lot of things, you know, that are going to be speculated. But I know, and I think that when the trial comes, witnesses will be brought in, and more, you know, of this appears to be in the dark will now be in the light at that point in time. Also, we'll probably get hopefully the marathon, you know, the angle, the shooting angle from the Marathon store, the T-Mobile, because even the family, like, they haven't spoken about that. Like, you know, oh, don't worry, we know exactly who it is. Maybe the police or their lawyer maybe told them not to.
I'm pretty positive.
Probably. You know, don't give up any, you know, thing, you know, close, you know, to the case at this point, obviously for the defense and whatnot. But yeah, man. So we shall see. You know, once again, ongoing thing. We talked about the Marathon store. You know, I actually did talk to Darren today about that and whatnot, and but that's another whole nother conversation. But the store, you know, shutting its doors and whatnot, but still taking online orders. So, you know, they you know, peace to the family, man. That's all I can really say at this point.
Indeed, man. And I want to see that Marathon store thrive. I want to see it do well. this is a problem that they're having, but it's a good problem that they're having. They have an outpouring of support. They got so much, just such great business going on. What people just need to do is be a little patient, understand that that's a growing and thriving business, and things have to still line up. Although it may seem like a long time, 3-4 weeks isn't a long time when you deal with the kind of loss that you dealt with. And if we're on the outskirts still dealing with death and people are still talking about it and blogging about it, you can only imagine what the family's dealing with. So just patience if you're genuine, and just kind of keep it moving from there. There's definitely pieces to this puzzle that are still unsolved, that don't kind of line up the way they're supposed to line up. We shall see as the time goes on. Like I said, in a lot of the time, or a lot of the podcasts or segments when we talked about Nipsey, there's cameras everywhere, man, especially in LA, especially where it's at. And even in talking behind the scenes with our brother Riz, they got super duper 4K cameras out there where they can sit there and look at blackheads on your motherfucking skin. They got it that in depth to where they know what's going on. And unlike back in 96, 97, when we lost Tupac and Biggie, there's cameras everywhere and they saw it. So there's certain truths that they're not going to be able to get away from. We'll figure out, and we will see how deep this goes as the story goes on and the trial goes on.
Yeah, I know. I think May 10th is the next time they're supposed to have court. So I guess we'll probably get more information. At least we'll know the next court date, and more and more is going to come out. Obviously, once it gets closer, to the trial date. And when the trial comes, we'll definitely, speak about it again, because, it was a tragic thing that happened, man. It's something that we had to kind of deal with in his family and whatnot. So, we wish the best for them with their ongoing battle and the things they got to deal with, the loss of a great individual in their family. And that's all we kind of got to say about that situation.
Indeed. That's a fact.
Yes, sir, but you're tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Old God, and Sam. And this is going to be just a shorter episode of the podcast today. Don't get used to it, ever being this short, because we got an interview that we're going to prepare for with Goods. Goods is a battle rapper that battled Cassidy about a week ago and whatnot. So we're going to have a powerful interview with him in just about under 50 minutes and whatnot. So
indeed,
definitely.
Looking forward to it. Oh God, I'm sending you something on your I'll send on your phone. I think I'm sending on your computer too.
Right.
Odell Beckham. Now I know you've seen the Met Gala and everyone dressed up and looking all good and shit and doing their thing yesterday out in New York. I was sitting there watching Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN a little earlier, and they showed this, and I think Marcus Spears was on there, and they're talking about this. Now I sent that to you, and that's what he has on right now, as you can see now. It's a kilt. That's what people were saying. That's what Odell Beckham. A kilt. Roddy Piper and shit.
Yeah.
With the bagpipes and shit.
Yeah.
That's a kilt. What was your first reaction, and what do you think about what he has on? Just.
I mean, it don't surprise me from him. You know what I mean? Out of all the people, you know what I'm saying?
It's a kilt though, man.
Yeah, it resembles a skirt, and it kind of looks like, when you had the teacher and you was in school and they had the skirts and whatnot, and they would sit down and whatnot, and they would put one in. Everybody knows the story, but yeah.
My truth uncensored, my whole network viral. 12 and a half get you a quarterback. I got them shits flying like spirals. I like my truth uncensored, my whole network viral. 12 and a half get you a quarterback. I got them shits flying like spirals. You're now tuned into the greatest. Motherfucker, you ain't never lie. If them people watching us like YouTube, then tell them motherfuckers like and subscribe. If the blunt's still, I still click a bell. Inhale, get the feeling like string a bell. Oh God, you better pay me like Uncle Sam. Hey, you walking like Bambi if them thumpers bland. I ignore cause I got no time for stressing. She just wanna argue like the comment section. I just stay calm and see the value in the lesson. The hard top was sin, the drop top was a blessing. I like my truth uncensored, my whole network viral. 12 and a half get you a quarterback. I got them shits flying like